Cutie pie. How much does he weigh?
Oops, he weighs 3 pounds and 4 ounces.
Oh my God, he's a
So
tiny one. My Bentley
yeah,
is like 6 pounds.
that's still pretty
So
tiny.
yeah, he's ornery. Oh my goodness, he
Yeah,
is so
yeah.
ornery.
On my Bentley, as you see, he's very on. We spoil them, and now we're like, oh, what do we do?
Okay, so let me pop this out. Let me get sure we are live. By the way,
Okay. Hi, everybody. Anybody?
so we'll wait for a few people to start coming in. Until then, we'll just yak. Let me
Okay.
get everything popped up over here and ready to set up. And I put you out on Twitter already and told a lot of people about you. So it'll take a little bit for everybody to come in.
Alrighty.
So, um, did you sign papers on your house then yesterday? Did you get it all
Yes,
done?
we got it all done. The only thing is the people buying our house, they are dragging behind, so they asked for an extension. So of
Right.
course, what we're gonna do? No, because it's like if we say no, then we lose everything. So we lose the new house, we lose that. So we said, we gave them some conditions and said, yeah, of course, take it. So we are closing probably Monday or Tuesday. And then we have 10 days to get out after that. But we're tinting the house, we're painting everything before we actually, get out. But what we've been doing is boxing everything up and putting it in the garage
Oh,
and
yeah.
labeling everything. So when the movers, professional movers come, they can just take from the garage, and except for the heavy stuff like my hospital bed. Oh Lord, they're gonna hate me for that one. But it's upstairs and we live in an old Victorian house with these steep, stairs that, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So
I know where you live, but it's going to be tough, isn't it? With especially with a big hospital bed like that. You
yep.
know, I've got one
I'm,
of those too.
we're gonna have to take it apart. And we've done a lot of stuff. We have a balcony that we put everything over, and then my sons, they lower it down and stuff. And we've had great fun living here.
Oh,
Just
bless your heart, you're going to miss it. But
I
uh,
am. I love my new house. So
we've got people coming in, so I'm just going to say hello real quick to these people. This is Miss Jodi. Hello, Jenny. Hello, little miss. Beautiful women on panel, Jenny says. Oh, thanks. Hi, Debbie. So if you wouldn't mind, folks, just please share this out on your social media. Let's get some more people in here. Elizabeth, hello. We're going to be talking today with Miss Jodi. Her channel is Jenny. I'm going to get her, I've got her link right here. Let me get a copy of it. I will put it in chat. And if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor and keep posting her link, today's goal is hello, Miss Tina. Everybody, I want you to meet Miss Jodi. She is a cutie pie. She is a cutie patootie. And you guys will absolutely love this woman.
oh
I
no,
have,
oh
oh,
pressure.
the
Ah,
pressure's on you, Jodi. The pressure's on.
sure.
So, everybody, there's her channel right there. Please go over and sub this lady. There's actually two goals today. I want her to tell you her story. It is it's very heartbreaking to say the least. It's very heartbreaking, but they said, "Hello, Miss Jodi. Great to meet you."
Hi, you guys.
Hello again, Hannah Bobana.
I like that
Um,
name.
Hello, Life Rewind. So, I want to thank everybody for coming in, but this story is so important. It's so important, and she speaks a message about what she went through and what she's going through. Joy, thank you very, very much for coming in, and you're a 9 month streak for subbing me. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate all the support. And Miss Jodi's going to tell her story today. And the thing is, we have both been through breast cancer. She is still dealing with the breast cancer. Hello, Yoga Pants. Watch her all the time, Yoga Pants says. So you have
Oh,
some of your own people in here watching.
well, good. Yoga pants. I love yoga pants.
Yes, yes. So anyway, we're oh, you guys are welcome. You're getting a lot of support out here in the chat.
Aw.
Yeah, you're getting
This
a lot of support.
means I love you in sign language. So,
We're gonna talk about that too. Oh wait, I can't do that. See, my hands
like,
don't.
yeah, you have to have your thumb. I know I have to hold it down even after all these years. But it's also like a Hawaiian, aloha. It's kind of
Oh
a
yeah.
cultural thing.
Oh my gosh, I cannot do that. That means
You're
just with
doing it. Fine.
one hand or two,
One or two, whatever.
and it means I love you.
Means I love you in sign language, but it also is like a cultural, hey, how you doing? Welcome. It's like just like in like aloha. It's kind of like it's a cultural thing.
So, Jody, let me
Warm
tell you, you
welcome.
are a sign language interpreter, right? That's what you do. And so, can you explain to me what it is you do? I mean, you get on a video call, and that's what you do. You do sign language.
Yes, what I do is I work for the federal government and the FCC, and I sit in a soundproof room and at a location I can't say.
Right.
And I sit on a little chair and I have a nice fancy little camera and computer in front of me with a couple of screens and different platforms. And first off, I do VRS, which is video relay service. It is just like it's a call center for telephone calls for the deaf. So they come up on my screen, they see me, I see them. I have the person, like say you call a deaf person, I hear you. I say, hi, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm signing everything. They say, oh, hey, is this Kathy? And then I say, hey, yes, this is Kathy. And we just go back and forth in sign language. And I speak
Wow.
every day. So what it is it's a I do everything and anything that goes through the internet. And I do mean anything and everything. So anything that goes, I know, anything that goes to the internet goes through my hands and unfortunately my ears and a lot of times my eyes. So that
Right.
is one leg of what I do. The second thing is VRI, which is in the good old days, we used to go out and actually physically be everywhere we were interpreting, say,
Right.
at a doctor's appointment or in a meeting or job training or, whatever. Now, what they do is they have a little laptop or computer and they just take us around everywhere. And so 1 minute, I
Wow.
could be in his office interpreting a medical call. Next minute, I could be on a helicopter interpreting getting the vitals and stuff like that. The next second, I could be delivering a baby, not me, but interpreting that.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah. So it is super excited. And then another third leg of my job is actually to be in person and to go out. Like I've done red carpets. I've interpreted people like Barbara Walters. I mean, you name it. I've probably been there and done it. And got to travel, a lot of traveling until recently. But yeah, so that's what I do. So it's been kind of
Oh
fun.
my gosh. And you're down in California.
Yeah,
You
and we're traveling the seat from your the world from your seat.
Oh my gosh, what a commendable thing to do. How long did it take you to learn sign language?
Well, there's different levels. If it's just basic communication, then 6 months
Mhm.
to a year, to be and to be proficient, 3 to 5 years.
Which is
But
what you have to be, right?
well, to do what I do, you have to have a master's degree. So you have to have you have to go through, you have to get your general ed and blah, 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 all that. Then you get your bachelor's and then you go through, it's called an ITP program, interpreter training program.
Mhm.
And then after the interpreter training program, you go and take it's like your boards, you do a written exam and then it covers like all the legalities, the ADA laws and all the different amendments and a lot of legal mumbo jumbo stuff. And then for disability access and stuff. And then the second thing is a physical, you know, hands up interview with like a board of people. They ask you ethics, you know, if you're in this situation, blah, blah, blah. If you're in this situation, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. They kind of just evaluate your whole everything. And then if you pass both of those tests, then you get to be certified and then you get to work VRS and all the stuff I do. You can work while you're doing this, which is the best thing to the job, you know, but it does take at least 5 years minimum before you get to do anything with money.
Commendable. Very, very good. Hannibal Banner says, I've always wanted to learn ASL. So,
Panel, I have Too Cute for Cancer for the Deaf. If you want to look over there, you can see it's all, there's no voicing, it's all in sign. So
oh my gosh, I'll have to look that up. If somebody could look that up for me and grab the link, I'd greatly appreciate that.
yeah, I haven't really done much with it because I've been so focused on my hearing crowd, but I do have a lot, and a lot of my deaf users just follow me regularly on YouTube because it's captioned and stuff.
Right,
So
right.
um, there are some deaf that would like it in their own language and not have to, you know, go through the second language thing. So I'm working on doing more, but yeah.
Oh, well, um, what we're going to do is thank you, Lulu. Everybody is just really, they're saying hello and they're posting your link. You guys, please get out there and, sign up to Jodi. Go and watch her channel. I'm telling you, you will see the good, the bad, and the real bad. There's highs and lows. Yeah. And first of all, I want to say my condolences. You just lost your best friend to breast cancer, also. And
Yes.
so my heart and prayers are with you. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just lost one of my best friends to pancreatic cancer about 3 weeks ago. So I know where you're coming from, you know.
Hard to
Uh,
find and then, you know.
yeah, yeah. Kitten Cat the Lioness says, I'm sub to Jodi. I love her tons. So,
Oh,
yeah. So, let's go back. Let's start your story. It was 7 years ago, is that correct? Or 8 years ago that you were diagnosed with breast cancer?
um, the first time or just stage 4?
The first time. It was right
First,
after you had just lost your son, is that correct?
I it was 20 years ago, the initial
20 years.
diagnosis. Yeah. And it was it said state between 0 and 1.
Hmm.
So they said, "Oh, you're so lucky, clotted early, blah, 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 blah." So I was still breastfeeding. At first, they said it could just be like, you know, from breastfeeding, you know, like a
Yeah.
milk duct clogged or whatever. But then they did a biopsy and they're like, "Oh crap, it's cancer." So they did a lumpectomy and radiation, and that's it. And then fast forward, let's see, that was about 10 years later, and I was when Taylor was born, I was 44. So I was 34 when I was first diagnosed. So 44, I went in for we'd already celebrated my 5 year, yay, I'm done with cancer and everything. So then I went back in just for my regular, I was going every 2 years at this point, just for my mammograms. And I saw my breast, everything was fine, you know, that. Went in and they said, wow, we need to do an MRI. And I was like, MRI? They've never done an MRI before, ever. You know, so they put me through all these different tests, came back, and they said, yeah, your cancer has spread into your lymph nodes. And so we're going to recommend that you do a double mastectomy. And
Hmm.
so I was like, at the time, I was just like thinking about my body. I mean, I'm just honest. I
Yeah.
was I was very into what I look like. I was 100, I think it was 103 pounds, 104 pounds, very tiny. I'm
Yeah,
not a
you're
very
a
big,
tiny little thing.
I'm only 5'2", but I was at the height of my career. I was traveling. I was wearing fancy, nice clothes and, you know, just doing everything. And my hair was down to my waist. And I was thinking, first thing I'm thinking, oh, my hair, no. So it was, to me, that was probably the most devastating out of everything until recently. But so they did the double mastectomy, they did chemotherapy, and I was yay again. I was like,
You have the radiation too, Jody.
yeah,
So you
yes,
you had okay, all right,
yeah. Then I had exhausted how much, there's only so much radiation you can do
right.
before it's working and stuff. So I got to that point the second time around. Well, then they said, well, you're good, but every 6 months for every 3 months I had to go back. Then I made it to every 6 months. So
That's a
basically,
milestone.
yeah, I was thinking, okay, I'm headed to 5 years again. This is it. This is done. So, of course, I didn't make it to there. In 9 years ago, I stayed in remission. They don't even call it remission because I didn't get that. I didn't get to the 5 year mark. It's only considered remission if you get to the 5 year mark. I didn't get there, but I went in for my regular routine PET scans and all that, came back, and it had migrated. I'm like, it metastasized. I always use a different word for something if I can't say it well. Metastasized it went down and didn't go up because it has two different paths that it could do. A lot of, goes up to the brain or
Brain down to
down
your
and stuff. Okay, so it went down and there was the first tumor, I think, was in the inside of my sternum bone.
oh
And yeah, did not hit my lungs, did not hit anything like that. But at the time, this was another, do you want me to go into this?
no, you're fine.
This is how I found out that I had stage 4, is I was pregnant. I was 44 and pregnant. Ah!
Oh my gosh.
I know. And I was just like, holy crap, I have a grandbaby and I'm pregnant. This is crazy. So
Yeah.
I wasn't thrilled about it, I have to say, but I was like, okay, well, God's given us a baby. Let's just do it. So
Right.
we went into ultrasound and went to the doctors and I said, I've got cancer. I'm still, every 3 months or every 6 months at that point going in for, checks and stuff. And they're like, okay, well, we better do an ultrasound right away and such. They did the first ultrasound. They found the baby looked perfect, 9 weeks, heartbeat, everything looked fine. So we're like, okay, great. Well, then 2 weeks later, I started having like cramping and spotting. So we went in and we felt like it was just my body's way of saying, you can't handle this right now. And so we're like, okay, we have another baby in heaven. We can deal with it. So we went in, and that time it was the nurse or the PA that was doing an ultrasound, doing an inner ultrasound and stuff. And she says, hold on just a second. She went and got the doctor, came back in, and he went and got another doctor. I was like, what the heck? What is
Yeah.
up there? I'm like, geez. And of course, I was making jokes. You guys didn't even wine and dine me before you did this or whatever, My husband was there and he was just like, oh boy, So they said they're seeing a mass. And it's not in the uterus. It was like above, sitting on top of around in my stomach. Actually, it was the spots and stuff. So they're like, that's interesting. They sent me back to my oncologist. I had miscarried. I went through
Oh,
a little bit of grieving and frustration and guilt because I didn't want to be pregnant in the first place, that type of thing. And then we went in and the oncologist, and they started checking. That's when they found that it had moved onwards from my lymph nodes. It had gone into my stomach area
oh
and
my
in my
gosh.
intestines. And they said, which was really rare. Usually it'll go to the bones and then to the organs, and then that's it. Well, it had only hit one bone so far before it jumped over to my innards. So anyway, I had a major surgery. They took part of my stomach out, my some of my large intestines. And then while they were in there, they did exploratory just to see what was up and if there was anything more. And they found that my kidney had a tumor on it, so they took my kidney as
Oh
well.
my word,
So
Jodi.
after all that's said and done, I'm thinking, okay, this is a good thing. I'm very positive. I always have a positive perspective on anything that happens. And I'm thinking, okay, this is it. You know what? The baby was our little miracle, and I should not have been able to get pregnant in the first place. And, this brought us to this, and now we've got it. We've taken it out. We're fine. But we weren't fine because after, the next 3 months when they came back for my pre-op and all the checks and stuff, it had spread to my bones, to my hip bone, my pelvic, and my left long bone on my left leg. So, and at that point, it's just been grabbing more bone as we go along. But in the last 4 years, it's been playing peekaboo. If you've been watching my channel, it is, they looked at it and they're like, we don't see anything at all.
Right.
And I did a episode with my doctor. I did the results. It was during COVID, so we couldn't go in person. And she goes, I don't know. She says, I don't see anything anywhere. So we were rejoicing. We were happy. 9 months of being, cancer free. Again, not in remission, has to hit 5 years. People get that confused. They're like, oh, you're in remission. It's like, no, not really, but I'm celebrating, right now.
Right.
So, yeah, then I went back 9 months later, and the tumors that had been there before in the same places were showing up. So really, it hadn't gone anywhere. It was just not because it was so small, it wasn't presenting on the scans and stuff.
Right.
And that's just what does that. So that's why it's so dangerous.
What people don't understand, Jodi, is when you go in for these tests, it's not like you can go in for a half hour and walk out and have the results. You're going day after day, weeks after weeks for tests, for biopsies, for whatever. And it's just not done in a snap. It wears you out.
It's exhausting, emotionally,
Mentally, physically.
Mm-hmm. The whole medical thing is exhausting to me. Medicine, if you watch my last or two vlogs
Oh my
before,
God, my heart broke for you. Yeah.
well, they screwed it up again because what they did was I just looked at my bottle and I'm like, why am I almost out when they just filled this? So then I looked at the quantity. They only gave me 30, and they said it's not due till the 25th, which is my normal pickup day.
Right.
And then four a day, every 6 hours, 4 a day. And I'm like, they didn't give me enough for like 15 days. That's it. So my husband is calling today and they're like, oops, sorry, we were out. We're like, okay, well, on the bottle, I mean, that could really screw me over.
It's so aggravating.
Yeah. And then my husband said when he called, they treated him like I was a drug addict or something, seeking extra drugs. And it was their mistake. It's been their mistake all along. And
well, they treated you like that too, from what you said.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Many.
And that's ridiculous.
Whitney too. Whitney had to. I gave her some. I know. Don't put me in jail now. I'll deny it. But I gave Whitney my morphine.
Right.
But in the past, because she was on Medi-Cal, she could not get enough. They didn't give her enough. Then they made her go back every 4 days to get it. Like a drug addict. And she's like, I can barely get out of bed. I can't drive. I can't, she was in pain. So it was a mess. So I would spot her some, and then she'd give it back when she got her prescription.
Right.
We were on the same medications and stuff. And yeah, she said she would come home crying. She goes, they acted like I was a crack addict. And I'm like, I know exactly how you feel. And when you go in, you want to fix up and everything and look good so you don't look like you're like, never. And then I realized that, no, that's bad. You need to wear your beanie and go in looking like this so they'll be nice to you.
Oh my gosh, that just
awful.
That breaks my heart. Now the morphine that you're taking, is it the liquid or the pill that you're taking?
I take the pill.
You take
I
the
think I have
pill.
been on the liquid, I've been on the patch, and the patch makes me itch.
I had a friend the same way.
Crazy. I can't stand it. The liquid hits my system so fast and hard. I'm like, I can't,
Put it
I
under
can't.
the tongue. Yeah.
I like to be aware and up and about. Even if I'm down, I'd like to be able to hear the door and, the dog barking. And, I don't like to be completely out of it.
Right.
It freaks me out a little bit of my control issues.
Well, and so that you all know, they don't send you home with bags of morphine.
No, they do not.
No, they don't do that, folks. So anybody that says that they're hooking themselves up with morphine, they're not telling the truth.
Trust me. Yeah, and I have a really good doctor, and I have my pain management guy is such a great guy. I mean, I really have never had any problems. In fact, he's always trying to give me more, and I'm like, you know what? Let's see if this works first. Let me try this, let me try that, and then if it doesn't work, we can raise it. And so far, I'm still in the lowest dose, and it's been what, 5 years.
Good for you. Well, so Jody, you get the word that you're terminal.
Mhm.
How did you mentally prepare yourself and then let alone your family for something like this?
You know what? I didn't. When it was stage 4, my kids are grown now.
Hmm.
Um, they're married. I have grandchildren, and so they had been going to my appointments with me, and kind of as we go. So there was no big sit down. Mommy has cancer type thing. Um, so they kind of knew what was coming and how they were a part of everything. But I had to tell my sisters, and we're all very close. I had to tell my parents. And my parents were like, it's okay, we'll get on our knees and we'll just pray. And they were supportive. They were, I know my mom was bawling in the background, I'm sure, but, it was very just like, it's okay, we got this, we got you. So that was okay. My kids always were like, Mom, it's okay. This is happening for a reason. We are going to just deal with it. We've got you. What do you need? My daughter-in-laws were like, we'll clean the house, we'll do this, we'll go grocery shopping. They were all like, let's just dig in.
Right.
To the point where I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You guys are over here way too much. Go. It was hard. It was hard the first time because I had a baby. I had just lost
Yeah.
Michael, and I was just numb. I
Yeah.
was just, I didn't care. I really didn't care about the journey. I just didn't care. All I wanted to do was live so I could take care of my kids. And
I You are
I did,
strong. You've
I
lost a
didn't,
child.
yeah, I did not want to put my family through any more loss. That was my main thought the first
Oh.
time. So
Oh.
the second time was, even though it was worse, like diagnosis, it was an easier thing because I had adult children that had grown up and they, supportive and stuff. But yeah.
Well, I've watched you with your grandchildren. I've watched you with your daughter-in-law. Uh, when you guys went to the haunted house the other day, that was cute. And
Yeah.
then I watched you at church
Mhm.
when you went to church. And I've been watching these little milestones that you've been making and letting everybody share in your life. And I guess the thing that I ask when I ask myself when I'm watching you is how do you find, and then it hit me the other day, how does this woman find the power to go on day by day and do what she does? And then it hit me when you were sitting in church.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's her belief. Mm-hmm.
Yep. God, that's the only way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they've asked, I had a sweet lady ask me, well, other than God, how do you do it? And I was like, I, I don't know any other way. So I guess I don't have an answer for you because, you know, it's solely through the power of prayer that and my faith that keeps me going day by day. And my whole family. My whole family we all go to the same church, except for my son Ryan and his family. They're in Idaho, but they go to a church in Idaho. My daughter Summer and her husband live in Seattle, and they are involved in their church there. So we all have the same belief system. So it makes it way, and my parents, my sisters, they all go to the same church. I mean, we're all in the same belief system.
Right.
So it makes it much, much easier.
Well,
I can't imagine.
one of your sons is a pastor. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my oldest one, the
Yeah.
one he did music once I introduced him once on camera and I got all these things. Oh my gosh, your son's hot. And I'm like, yes, I know. My sons are extremely good looking. I was like, but he's married and has 2 kids. But
Um,
yeah, Raymond is a worship pastor. He was a musician is a musician. He's got like many CDs and stuff. If you want to ever hear his music, because I
I
know
would love to.
everyone's heard him a little bit on my video, and they're like, "Ooh, I want to hear more." RaymondGregory.com. And he's
Let me
all
write that down, Jody. What is it again? Raymond Gray?
RaymondGregory.com or Raymond Gregory. Just put him on YouTube. He's all over the place.
Okay. I will definitely. Yeah, because I was a musician for 50 years before I retired. So
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love good music. Love good music.
Our whole family, both my sons play guitar, and of course they write and they sing and they do everything. But my my first degree was in music, was vocal
Oh,
performance. I know
oh,
how I got so far away from that. I don't know.
wow. Good for you. Good for you. So, okay. So you are getting ready to move. You have this beautiful Victorian home, but you are moving into another beautiful home that I saw when some of the furniture was still in there, and then you went back in and showed everybody when the furniture was out. But you've got a swimming pool. It's all one floor,
Hmm.
so you don't have to worry about climbing stairs. Yes.
Uh, yeah,
So
and
how how
there's central heat and central air. This
yay!
house have either or either.
So it gets hot in the summertime upstairs. I don't know how
Yeah.
you stay cool.
Mm.
I'm reading some of the chat. They're putting out there the American Cancer Society. Their Life Rewinded said she's a minded soul. Jodi Uber, you have the sweetest of subs. It is refreshing break from the drama community. Thank you for sharing new people.
Well, thank you. That was sweet.
Yeah, yeah,
Me.
I try to stay out. And Kyle says hello. And Hippie Soul says hello. Let's see who else we got out here. Um, Let me see. We've got all kinds of people in here. They that have seen you and know you. A lot of my friends are subbing to you.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'm hearing a lot of familiar handles.
yes, yes, yes. Let me see. Hunter says, "Thank God I can find solace in my friends." Um, yeah, a lot of people here are just very sweet, very sweet. So yes, you guys go over there. Here is her channel. The goal today is she's wanting to quit work. She would love to get 10,000 subs so that she can quit work and make a little jingle in her pocket. You know, we're all wanting to make a little jingle, jingle-ling-a-ling, you know? So so anyway, let's make sure that we show her some love.
Yeah, and just to clarify, some people think I had a troll, which I still have him. He's still out there, but I keep blocking him, and he just keeps coming back. But they're like, "Oh, you just want to make money off of us," and it's like that's not the way YouTube works. I
No,
make thing out of you guys. It's the ads that they put on my YouTube
that's
videos.
right.
whether I get monetized or not, whether I get paid for it, they put them on anyway. So, you know, I got monetized. They started paying me for the ads that they already were putting
That's
on their,
right. That's how it works, and people don't see that.
they don't understand, like affiliate links. I just now got uh, a brand thing with H&M. So now anything I post from H&M, which I wear everything from H&M,
Yes.
even before I got like affiliated with them or partnered with them, that's the word. I already owned like this blouse. I already
Right.
owned like I even did a sweater haul from H&M last year. Anyway, if they shop from that link, they I get a commission off of it, just like a thank you for showing me that, and I'm gonna look for I'm gonna do it. But they're paying the exact same price as they would in the store. Actually, online is cheaper, but but yeah, but people, they don't understand how it works. So I've been very, very honest with my
Right.
viewers and
Right.
explain every single thing that happens and how it happens. So maybe a little bit of knowledge.
So, it's different. You don't get online and do a live stream. You make your videos, and what I like about your videos are that you take a section at a time. When you get up in the morning and you have your coffee, and forget to start your coffee pot. And then the next, that was so cute. And then the next scene, you're getting ready for church. And then the next scene, you're going for a drive. So you do little sections throughout the day. And then you post it at night. And when I wake up in the morning, I get to sit there with Jodi with my coffee and watch you. And that's what
Yeah,
I love about you. You put a whole day into just a short segment, but you're not going live. You make exactly what you're given and well earned off of the ads that YouTube puts on your stuff. So you
and
guys,
my viewers are so amazing. They know how it works, so they watch the ads. They know that's how I get paid. They watch to the end of the video. They are like, they deserve a medal. I mean, unbelievable,
yes,
because I know my favorite YouTubers. I do the same for them now. Now that I know how it works, and it is painful watching those things,
I know. Sometimes it's really painful. Yeah,
but I
yeah.
do it and I appreciate it. So for
Well,
sure.
you know, and I got a confession, Jodi. I cuss like a merchant sailor normally.
That's
And
okay.
so a lot of my videos, I cuss once in a while. Well, okay, I lied. I cuss a lot. Anyway, so if you ever watch any, I'm just forewarning you.
Well, my kids will tell you, and I'm so sorry for my viewers that think I'm an angel or whatever. My favorite word has been the F word.
Yeah,
It is,
I hear you.
and you know what? I have, since I've had grandchildren, I have, I just like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna, that I stopped saying it because of them. But yeah, my kids, they're like, you have a face of an angel, mouth of a truck driver. I'm like,
That's yeah.
yeah,
Well, hey. So I have a question. You had the chemotherapy. You had the radiation. What kind of effects down the road have you noticed? Please, and be very honest because I got a list of them like this.
yeah, there's a lot of them. Chemotherapy did so much damage to my body. Um, Other than like my immune system, my red blood cells, my body cannot no longer make red cells anymore. So I have to go in and have infusions. Although it has been over 4 months and my body's been holding on to the last transfusion, or yeah, blood transfusion.
Wow, that's
So,
awesome.
so that is one major thing that was really life altering, basically. Of course, the aches, the pains, the memory. Oh my gosh, fighting for words. That chemo brain they joke about is not a
It's
joke.
not a joke.
I'll just be like, oh man, I'm looking at the table. I know it's a table, but what is the word for that thing again? That type of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so chemo brain, because of the radiation being so close to like my lungs and everything, and my bones, they have like scar tissue.
Mm,
So taking deep breaths are sometimes hard. Yeah,
yeah.
my brain got affected a little bit, not a lot. It could have been a lot worse.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, I don't know. It just, I'm sure I'll think of a million after
Did you
after.
did you have any like I have neuropathy and real bad leg pain. Yeah.
Severe neuropathy.
Hmm.
Can't feel my toes, pins and needles and stuff. Very, I mean, to the point sometimes I have to use a cane.
Yes.
You know, trying not to. Yeah, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's permanent
It's
damage.
permanent. Yeah. Yeah.
They said that was mostly from the Taxol, but
Right.
I've heard that it's happened with many other of the
It's
chemo.
yeah, it's with me too. Now, um when you had your radiation, how bad were you burnt?
Um, you know what? It wasn't that at the time I thought it was horrible
Hmm.
because they didn't tell me that I would have physical. They said I'd get a little bit red. That's what they said.
Big old
And
blisters on my chest. Big
yeah,
old blisters.
yeah, and I had no idea that it was gonna. All of a sudden, I remember I had a light T-shirt on,
Uh,
and all of a sudden my T-shirt was wet, and I'm like, "Why is my T-shirt wet?" Well, it had blistered, and there was water. You know how you when you get a
yes.
sun, there's like water underneath the blister. It had
Yes.
blistered up, and the water was there, and the clothing going over the top of it had broken it, and my shirt was wet from it. So I looked down and I'm like, oh, so I called my nurse line and like, something's wrong. This is not supposed to be this way. And she was,
Oh,
when was your last radiation? I'm like, I told her, and she's like, no, 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 that's normal. I'm like, what? I'm like, you guys said a little bit of redness. You did not say I was going to be a blistering mess. So, yeah.
oh, bless your heart. Yeah. I
So
think
there are people that it's been a lot worse.
yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know,
I'm still scarred. I am
yeah.
still scarred
Right.
from mine.
I've got so
Yeah.
many scars where it's like I
Oh,
don't
me
even.
too. Me too. And you know what? It's part of my journey. I kind of like wear it like a medal.
Mhm.
That's like my bald head. Here I
Yeah,
am. I'm proud of it. I earned every doggone bald spot on my head.
I
You
could
know.
not hold until the very last time. I just couldn't do it. It reminded me, and I was on camera constantly staring at my face, and I
Right.
couldn't be on camera with no hair because it was so too distracting for my callers and my viewers and stuff. So yeah, it was really hard for me. But I did finally on my channel, you know, take off my wigs and stuff, and I got a little bit more comfortable. But
Yeah. Yeah. Um. uh, it's how you feel. I had a wig, wore it maybe 4 times. I worked at a bank. And it was just like I was constantly doing this. I finally just took it off, threw it down, and said, "To hell with it."
in my book, I just wrote the third chapter of my book, and it's called The Wig.
Oh.
It talks about all of the different things and different issues that wearing a wig brings and stuff. But
Mhm.
I won't say the funny part about it because then you guys will not want to buy the book if you already know what all about it.
We're gonna have to. You'll have to tell us. Oh, it's not done yet, right? So
It's
when do you plan? When? I'm sorry.
halfway done right now. My daughter-in-law, who is also manages me, she says nobody else will do this, so I'm going to take over and tell you what to do, Mom, because she's got a degree in business, so she's like really good at this stuff. But spring of this
Okay.
year,
Good for
yeah,
you.
is it's going to be out. So
Wow. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Tell her if she wants to manage me. I'd be more than happy to throw everything her way too.
and, she's a little spitfire, that girl. Both of my
Yeah.
daughter-in-law, wow,
Wow.
they're awesome.
So I got a question for you. When you had your mastectomy, what was the worst part about that surgery?
Um, the drains. I
Bingo.
hated the drains. The drains, okay, so I interpreted like bloods and guts and, surgeries and everything didn't even phase me. But when I see my own blood, I get very faint.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm like, God, I can't look. So the kids and my son and my husband and my daughter-in-law is the same as me. So my son Raymond and my son husband, they were changing out my drains and stuff. I'm like, you guys have to do it.
Oh,
What? I'm like, I can't look. But when it came out, oh my gosh, they just lay you down on the table. You know this. And they're talking to you and they're like, oh, we're going to take your drains out. I'm like, wait, aren't you going to be like putting me out for this? I was out when you put them in. And they just ripped it out. And there's like this long of a tube.
you're going. What?
And I have to say, I said the F word more than once. And my husband was like, oh, he didn't even yell at me for cussing this time. He just was like, so like, I can't believe they did that. And the nurse laughed.
Oh
I was
my
just,
God.
he says, that's
Oh,
my favorite part. Yeah, the drains and that, and then I can't feel anything.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I have, still it's very numb, so that is bothersome. But I had expanders put in, and I had the breast implants. Hated them. I told the doctor a B, and he gave me a double D.
Oh
My
wow.
life to 100 pounds, he gave me the double D.
That's
I go
great.
to the house every time I met any man. All I he was like this, and I was just like, could you please? Not that men are bad. I'm just saying,
No. Yeah,
very it was very uncomfortable. It was just like horrible. So I had them taken out.
yeah. Good
And
girl.
didn't have anything put back in.
If I had to redo it again, I still have mine, but they botched it so bad. I mean, I
Hmm.
look like a plastic surgeon has just took a knife to me and done this number. You know, if I had to redo it all over again, I wouldn't. But I'd
Yeah.
say do you remember Jody going in and having a big long needle put into your chest, into the expanders? That needle had to
Yep.
have been 3, 4 inches long and
To
go in
blow
there right through your chest. And oh my gosh.
get those expanders blown up. And then the pain, to me, the pain, because I was only an A before all this happened. So my muscles were not stretched
Mm-mm.
for very much at all. So when they were stretching those muscles, my whole chest hurt. And I was working through it all too. So I was
Oh,
interpreting which
girl.
muscles are like, here. And it just like, it really was painful. I really now I miss them, I have to say, but it's more I miss them for clothes. Like for example, I put this on
Yes.
to, and if I don't put it back, it comes down to like right here, because there's nothing to,
Right. Yeah.
so now I wear the prostheses.
Right. Right.
Make it fit right.
Did you find yourself like putting your purse in front of you when you like sit down or go anywhere? The embarrassment of not having breasts?
Yeah, you know what? I was so flat chested beforehand and I was so tiny. It's bothered me more now that I've gained some weight
Hmm.
than before because I was so just flat everywhere anyway. It didn't really bother me that much in the beginning. But as I gained weight, it was more of a different, there was this concave thing going on and I could see the difference more. And then I really was very, very self-conscious of it and stuff. So then I decided, okay, I'm going to try the implant or the prostheses. And I've gone through a million different bras, a million different types, and finally came to something that is comfortable. What's really hard for me is the bra, any bra, comes down underneath where my scar is and it's numb, but it still hurts. I don't know how that is if it's numb, but when the material like rubs on it, it gets
Right.
very just uncomfortable. So it took some time, but I figured it out, and you know, I
Right.
just I've got different sizes and stuff to try to work with different outfits. But
Right.
on a day basis, I'm like, no, thank you.
So, what would your best advice be for anybody going through cancer? You've been through it, you're dealing with it now, but in order for them to get through a good mental state, you know, okay, I'm just going to be honest here. If somebody called me tomorrow and said, you know what, girl, you're going to be dying soon, and I'm thinking, oh, damn, what do I do? First of all, after I got over the initial shock, I'd say, well, everybody's going to die, you know. But
Right.
until then, how do I tell my family? What do I tell my family? How do I get through this? When do I stop crying? You know.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
what would your best advice be? Because you're going through it. Um, to handle a family in that.
If, well, at any diagnosis, your first diagnosis is usually the hardest. Um, Although I don't know the second time because then you realize that you're not done, it's still going on. But I think the best for me, I would say take a beat. Don't tell anybody until you have just your inner circle, until you've come to grips with it. There's no rule saying you have to go and tell mom, dad, sisters, whoever.
True.
Find your trusted posse and just deal with it within the safe confines of the people like your husband and my best friend were my people, and then my kids. And after you have kind of got a plan in in place, then pick one person that you trust to be your spokesperson.
Mhm.
Because what happens is people start asking, you have to say the same thing over and over and over. And it is emotionally draining. Physically, it can have a horrible, effect on your body too. So pick one person as a point person and you communicate whatever it is that you want to go out to the masses and let them. And now with the age of technology, it's perfect. They can message people. They can, you don't even have to physically call. You can set up a Facebook page with information on it, and then one
That's a
person.
good idea.
Yeah, so that person handles that, and then when people are thinking, "Ooh, wonder how Jody's doing," they can look on that page and find out. Then what my daughter-in-law did, she's very smart. She came up with a Jody's needs section, like days that maybe we're going to be in the hospital, do this, do that, need food brought over. What are her
Oh my
limitations
gosh.
to eat and things like that. So that is one of my suggestions when you're first. I mean, and if you don't hit it right at the first, right in the beginning, and kind of set it up, then it just kind of gets blown out, and everybody's calling and coming at you, and then everybody's reacting, and so you have your emotions, their emotions. So if you can keep it
Wow.
away, that would be my first suggest or my second suggestion. So keep it within, get like a spokesperson, have like maybe a Facebook page, and remember elderly people sometimes, my parents are 83, they're all over Facebook, so, and Instagram and Twitter, but other than my parents,
Right,
most
right.
aren't, they're not communicating that way. So remember that and have somebody there to actually physically call them. So there's that. And then the second thing is don't don't be afraid to tell people, I don't want to talk about this right now. Tell them what you need. So you know what I need right now is to have a break. I need right now maybe to talk about it. I need right now, and don't be a wuss.
Right,
don't be
right.
be like, okay, don't be polite. I mean, be polite, but be you're gonna have to be strong.
They're
You're
going to
gonna
have to understand too. Yeah.
Yeah, and people will understand. And if
Yeah.
anybody who doesn't understand, then you better get rid of them now because this is a long journey to go on. And
Right.
the third and last thing I would say is don't, I see it all the time. People are like, I just want to get this over with. After this, cancer's in my rearview mirror. I don't want to know anything more about it. I'm done. Well, guess what? You're not going to be done because cancer is with you forever, period. Even if you survive it, there's going to be something left of it, either
Right.
physically, emotionally, or if you are one of the lucky ones that just escape with nothing, then you are the ones that are going to help the others go through it. So cancer is not going to be behind you. Cancer is now your friend. It is there. So
Wise
when
words.
people say it's behind me, I just want to move on. It just really it and it bothers me, but I see it and I see, oh, they're coming, they're gonna crash later is usually what happens. So just accept it. This is the new norm
Hmm.
and from there.
That's very true. You know, I was listening to one of your videos, and to be honest with you, I don't even remember which one it was because I've watched a lot of them. But no, I just lost my train of thought here for just a second. Oh, with me being in remission, there's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't wonder or wait for the hammer to drop
Yep, another
because
shoe.
I know it's still in my system,
Right.
and I can't remember what you were talking about. And I've got your videos pulled up here. I'll have to go back and look in my history. But so did you ever know that? I mean, did you ever? Well, you
Yeah,
thought you were kind of cancer free.
I did, but the whole time I knew the other shoe could drop. I mean, I had I had met other people that had cancer. I was in a cancer support group, so I saw their journey happening, and I
Right.
saw them repeat. They call them repeat offenders,
Right.
over and over and over. And so I knew, and it was in the back of my mind. But then also I knew that I could be in a car accident. I
Yeah.
also knew that I could have it's another disease. I could something could happen. I'm not in control of my death anyway. I I don't know. I was more afraid of what it's going to do to my family if this happens again.
Mm-hmm.
That was always my first thing, it's like because my family has gone through so much,
Yeah.
it's just like the kids losing a sibling, and then then her mom being having cancer all this time. And then my daughter-in-law's mom died suddenly when she was 18 when
Oh
the
my
kids
goodness.
married, and then my husband's father passed away, and then just we've just lost. I think we counted up like 13 people in the last like 6 years.
Oh my
So,
word.
so my thought is, I don't want to add to that, But yeah,
Oh my
it's
goodness. How's your husband doing? I know he's got a bad back, but mentally, how's he doing?
he's doing really good. He's got an awesome, positive outlook on things. He
Mm-hmm.
is very Uh, he's obviously my biggest supporter,
Right.
but he also goes to bat with me, like for my medications, because I just can't deal with it. I always say, I get to have the cancer, you get to deal with the prescriptions and calling the pharmacy and dealing with that. And he has no problem doing that. And he's very well spoken. He's very good at getting the job done, let's just say.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah,
him.
mentally, I think and he said this, and I did a couples interview. It was back about a year and a half ago, I think. Um, we answered questions, the two of us, and he got choked up. The audience asked him, what was the hardest thing about Jodi having cancer? He goes, well, then other than the watching her suffer, that part, obviously, but not having a wife to do things with, because he was going to birthday parties by himself, celebrating things by himself, going places, doing stuff. And he said he missed me basically.
Right.
And I listened to that and I started prioritizing my energy, and not just for the grandkids, but for him, for date night, for doing things together and stuff,
Right.
because
Because he's going through it with you too.
yeah,
He's going through
yeah,
it.
he is.
Yeah.
And So that interview was a real enlightenment for
Oh,
me, and to see where he was at. And he said he really didn't even think or wasn't like dwelling on that. It's just when the question came up and he answered it, he's like, wow, I did feel that way,
oh,
So
bless his heart.
yeah, but
Yeah,
other than that, he's very financially. He worries because
yeah,
we've always been a two family income. I've always made really good money. Being an interpreter is extremely, they pay you for all your education and your languages and all that. To be VRS interpreter, you have to know at least 6 languages. So it's very, very a lot of investment in it, but you also get paid for your investment after many, many years of working and stuff. So losing that major income in the beginning was really hard. Now we're used to me making this much.
right.
So, but like he's a realtor, so he works for himself. So his income is, you know, it's always good. We've always made it. I don't know how, but we've never missed a bill or a meal. So,
Right,
but
right.
it weighs on him more than it weighs on me.
And I can understand that. That's coming probably from a man's side.
Yeah, 100%.
They've got to be the big and the tough ones. So,
Mm-hmm.
everybody, we're speaking with Jodi here from Too Cute for Cancer. Joy's putting out her link. Go over there, show her some love. Uh, she is a very inspirational lady to watch. And now that I've gotten a chance to speak with her, even more so. I mean, here she is getting up here. She doesn't know me from Adam. And, she's coming up here and talking. Well, you know me now there, Jodi.
We're lucky too.
Oh, thank you so much. How are you feeling right now? You want to go on a few more minutes, or are you about ready to call it quits, babe?
Whatever you're up for.
Well,
I'm,
I just want to, I want to pick your brain. Makeup.
oh, you got, okay.
Now, I'm going to tell you all, Jodi does her makeup, and she uses different kinds of makeup, and I watch her because I love makeup, but as you can see, I'm getting older. I've got wrinkles. Jodi, have you seen that machine? I know. See, you were talking about that the other day.
Mm-mm.
Have you seen that new machine out called the Breeze?
Mm-mm.
It's like 1999. It's one of those drop hooly bob things. You put drops in.
Yeah, and you put it on and it tightens up your
Well,
skin
no,
and
it puts on your foundation for you evenly, and it's supposed to age
airbrush.
right.
Yeah, I've seen those. I had one for a while, but it
Did
was
it
so
work?
messy to do it. Yeah, it worked, but I couldn't do it because I just am not coordinated enough and I just would get it all over everything.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
think if you use it and you are coordinated, and practice with it, it's a
yeah.
good thing.
Well, my question is, um, when you put on your foundation,
Mhm.
how do you get from not getting these wrinkles packed in with the foundation? It makes you look older.
You know what? Um, you have to use a different foundation than you've used your whole entire life. Like my face is extremely oily,
Hmm.
which has been good because it keeps it from wrinkling as much. But it's called Bare Minerals Bare Pro. So it is a light foundation. It's waterproof, sort of, kind of. So
Yeah.
it just goes on wherever you put it, it kind of stays there. And I don't put it underneath my eyes because if you put it under your eyes, then it just sinks in. So all I put is a little bit of a Lancome tint as
Yes.
P-E-I-N-T. Anyway, Angie Hot and Flashy. I watch her and she is amazing. So I look at everything she does and her suggestive sell wins me over every time. So I just
Okay.
put it in the corner, then you don't put it anywhere else. So
Right.
less best, you know,
I'm
but
gonna
I
have
could
to give that a shot.
go wrong.
Well, I saw you
Anytime.
in your car the other day. You had put on the wrong foundation, and
Yep.
was worried that it looked a little bit darker than it should, but it looked good to me.
Yeah, it looked okay in the camera, but when I was out in the sunlight, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, yeah,
No, but I ordered the right shade now, so I'm like, I'm good to
right.
go.
You're ready to rock and roll.
I
Well,
did, yeah, I love makeup. I've always loved makeup. My mom is British, and so she sent my sissies and I through finishing school, and we learned all this different stuff. And then we got to go like how to put your makeup on, how to wear a
oh
dress,
wow,
all that stuff. And then I did in my early years when I was young and pretty, I did modeling to put
you're
myself through
still you're still
through college
beautiful. You
and
did
stuff.
modeling, huh? How cute
Yeah,
is that?
just college stuff, just um, just to get through or college.
Well,
But
you are
yeah,
still beautiful. Don't,
thank you.
don't let anybody tell you any different.
Age is really, yeah,
It does wear you out, and plus going through what you're going through, it's going to make you even, age more.
but
So,
you know what? I am so glad to get to age. I never thought I would. So it's
yeah.
been a privilege rather than a really,
Well,
honestly.
any final words for these people out here, uh, Miss Jody?
Well, please forgive me for any faux pas that I do make on camera because I am new to the game. Sometimes people will message me and say, Jody, you can't say that or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. So please forgive me for any faux pas that I make. And I am not perfect. I am not a makeup artist. I am not a doctor. I am not anything. It's just my journey.
Your
So
journey.
and I'm always open for emails. I answer every single one of my emails. I have connected
She
with quite a
does.
few guys. I connected. I try to answer all my comments. I mean, I work really hard at it. So I like that. So keep them coming.
They're saying very nice to meet you. And Joe Capan says, "Oh, geez, people need to lighten up."
Sometimes this is the funniest thing about somebody will put something negative on there, and all my little posse comes over and just jumps on them. I don't
Yeah.
have to say a word. I'm just like, okay, I'll just sit here.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Well, Jody, it has been a pleasure. Yoga Pants, I love you too, honey. So Hannibal Banna says, so happy to have met you, Jody.
nice to
And
meet you. Hope to
Hippie
see
Soul,
you.
thank you so much. Joyce says, thank you for being here, Jody, and sharing your story. So
Thank
you're getting
you.
a lot of positive, and hopefully you'll get some. Thank you so much, Hippie Soul, for the diamond. Um, God bless
Oh,
both you ladies. Thanks for sharing.
and
And
if you come over from here to my channel, put a purple heart so I know where you came from.
oh, there you go. Make sure you put a purple heart next to anything that you leave on there so she knows where you came from. Terrific interview. Thank you for being such a positive inspiration, Blue Kitty says.
Thank you so much.
Debbie I says, it's certainly been a pleasure. So you're getting some love. Stay on with me. I'm gonna say my goodbyes. And thank you, Bogart. Bogart says much love to you both. And I want to thank everybody for coming over and meeting Jodi. She's very inspirational. I know she's captured my heart with just, the little time that I have followed her. I haven't followed her for long. And I just couldn't, when I saw her and listened to some of her story and watched her with her husband and with her grandkids and my heart just went out to her because I'm shaking my head thinking that could be me. That could be me. And she's an inspiration. So, oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye bye, everybody.